Okay, this is just a quick video of the spinner package. I wanted to talk about what comes from Hummel Aircraft. If you buy a spinner, there's a couple different ways to buy it. And then I'll also go through what I do to cut and assemble a spinner. So first off, if you order a spinner from Hummel Aircraft, you can get it probably one of three ways. The basic way would just be with the cone and the back plate pre-drilled. He'll send it to you without the pre-drilling. If I don't know why anybody want to do that, but if you tell him if it's for a two-cylinder Volkswagen or a four-cylinder Volkswagen or the V-twin or something else, the something else may be an issue because I know he has the fixture to drill the bolt pattern for the other three engines that he basically supports. But so that's how it'd come basically. And if you tell him it's an Ultra Cruiser, you can see here it'll come with a 79 millimeter bolt pattern, which is what this spinner is we're going to do today. The H5 would just be a 4-inch bolt pattern. That would be the only difference. It'll come with the prop cutouts cut if you tell him what prop you're using and he has that available. If nothing else, get it marked so you know what's symmetrical, that this one's 180 degrees out of the other one. So that's beneficial, even if it's not specific to your prop. Then the next step would be a prop, I'll call it a spinner package, which would have all these items: the prop bolts, nuts, washers, the nut plates. There's 10 nut plates we'll show you that go around the spinner back plate to fasten the spinner cone. Those rivets, screws, that way. So you can get it that way. Then if you want to buy it from him complete, and I don't know what he charges, but if it's, I don't know, 150 bucks, it's well worth it if you're not familiar with doing this, because it's really important that you get this cut out properly, that you don't damage the spinner cone while you're cutting this pattern out. And then, of course, polishing that cut edge is really critical. If you leave any kind of stress riser in that, it will crack. It'll take time depending on where it is, but we've seen cracks from that. So polishing that, but we'll go over that a little more as well. So that's the spinner packages as they're available from Hummel Aircraft. Then we'll get started on the assembly. Okay, so for the assembly, the first thing, we've got our spinner here as it came from Hummel Aircraft. We want to cut this out. This is a really soft material, so I want to caution you about if you're just getting in here with snips and starting to snip this. You could probably do it if you did it in little, if you started down in here and kept working your way out. But with all sheet metal, when you're using snips, you always want to use the snip so that as you're snipping, the waste is pulled up. You want the part that you want to keep, or the part itself, on the shoe side of the snip. So you're gonna snip it and come up. The way I do it though is I take a unibit and I drill holes, because this is a radius corner. This is kind of a radius corner. I do that. You could put some more in here. You could take a 1/4 inch or 3/8 drill bit and drill away from the line all the way around there. And then the dotted line is where I cut. Then that's where I cut this, get my other snips, because again I want to hold that. I want to bring up the waist. You could cut across here and across here. Just want to be careful not to deform this part out here. So once that's cut out, then I take a sanding drum and I rough it up to the line. I'm going to actually remove the line on this spinner. So I take the sanding drum just in a drill, and I sand this away. I sand it up to the line as close as I can get. I got to get into this corner here. That one's too big, so I got another one here. I come up to it. So now I've got it really pretty much a finished edge. I got it all smoothed out. It works nice. I've done both sides. Now before I do the final polish, if you will, I want to make sure that it's going to fit. So you would have whatever spinner that you've got that you're going to use. I've got this broken spinner that we use broken prop that we use for spinner assemblies. So I put that on there. So I've already cut this one out. I'm kind of cheating here. This has already been partially assembled. So then I'll put this down on there, and I'll pick this up so you can see it. But that's probably a pretty good fit if it looks like that. You got to have a little room. You don't want it at all tight against the prop. So leave 8 to 3/16 gap around it. So now I know my clearance is okay. I'm going to take this back off and I'm going to polish this edge. So I've got some Scotch-Brite wheels or convolute wheels that'll polish, get that cleaned up. I've got a smaller one that I do in here. You can do it with a file, get it cleaned up, but a file's not going to be polished enough. So you're going to have some kind of Scotch-Brite material or something. And my test for this is if I run my fingernail on here and I can feel a catch on anything, then I got to clean that up. You don't want to feel any roughness in that edge at all. Okay, so once I've kind of lost track of where I'm at here now. So because this is probably not going to be perfectly symmetrical, because I do everything by hand and by eyeball, I marked the spinner on the inside of here, and I know this is still the bottom. So, sorry.